Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the first of the fall series tournament for CEA Overwatch. I'm Big Hungry Phil, and joining me today to help bring you the action is Thibbledork. Thibble, welcome to the broadcast. Welcome to CEA. This is normally the point of the broadcast where I'd say, hey, what have we got to look forward to today? But I'm aware that this is very much you in on the deep end. So let's leave it at how are you doing? How are you feeling about CEA?
I'm absorbing. I'm a sponge right now for all this casting goodness. I'm looking at these teams. I'm looking at their skill ranges and the maps that we're looking at playing today. And at the end of the day, I expect what I expect in every Overwatch game, which is complete and
Chaos.
utter chaos.
Yep.
Yes, you know the deal. It's you and me. It's not going to be simple.
Yep.
There's going to be so many particle effects. Voice lines may be spammed. Crouches may be made in a tactical fashion. Like we'll probably run the full gambit of the Overwatch experience, which is going to make for a pretty entertaining game, I think. Either way, no matter what.
Should be good fun. And so, just to set some expectations for those of you that are maybe experiencing the first run through the CEA tournament, much like Thibble is, this is not your daddy's Overwatch. This is not top of the top 4.6K players. No, we have a range of players here. It's a grassroots community event. And so, we're looking at teams with, big ranges. We've got 1.8K players, we've got some 4K players, and they all just come together in this big melange of chaos in the middle of the match. Two teams coming at you today, just the one match. We've got EG Tech and IBM Squid Squad. IBM Squid Squad, a returning middle of the pack team from last season and, in fact, from previous seasons of the CEA Overwatch tournament, with a little bit of a mix up here. We've not got the exact same roster that we did last time. And so anything you thought you knew about this team, well, time to throw that out with the bathwater, I'm afraid, because all bets are off, and this really could be any kind of a matchup. In fact, this could be any kind of map, because I'm keeping a weather eye on the lobby at the minute, and so far we've run through Eichenwald, Halloween, Eichenwald, Busan. We're currently settling in on Nepal. That should be where we're going first, but honestly, with this kind of match, who's to say, Thibble?
I'm a little disappointed we're not getting the Halloween matches. Of course, It's been Halloween for 10 days.
Yeah.
So
Halloween Eve. The entire month of September is Halloween Eve.
You go September 1st onward is Halloween, and then November 1st and 2nd are the Day of the Dead. But after that, it's Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And then from Black Friday onward, it's Christmas. And then after that, it's Valentine's Day. So, holidays in America are serious business. And I really think the Halloween map should be, in the conversation. But it's looking like we are vaguely settling on Nepal
maybe
eventually, which is a very standard first map pick sort of situation. Nepal is a great and classic map with many iconic moments in Overwatch's history and plenty of opportunities here for shenanigans, depending on the stage of the map and the comps these teams want to run. We could talk about what's meta, what's been used in contenders in the Overwatch League, but it's not going to matter, because at the end of the day, these guys are going to run what they feel like, and we're going to go, oh, okay, let's do that. And they're just going to do that, which to me is almost more exciting. I have no predilections about how this is going to go. I just know it's going to be fun.
Well, look, I can give you a bit of a steer in what we normally see, because there are two phases to the CEA tournament. There's the group stages, and then there's eventually playoffs, where we get our more finely honed teams towards the latter end of the season. But very much when we're in this group stage, what we tend to see is, particularly for teams with a big player range in terms of skill, is you find your highest peak SR player and you let them play whatever they're best at, and everyone else just does what they can to support. And so sometimes that's something relatively meta. We'll get a McCree in the mix. Maybe we'll get an Echo player. Sometimes that's a Junkrat. And sometimes it just goes completely out the window. But it does sound like we are getting about ready to go in. And unless my eyes deceive me, we're starting here on Nepal Village. And now at the high rank of play, this suggests a couple of things to me. Maybe some Sim TPs, maybe some Maze. But again, in this environment, who knows?
Yep. As always, I'm contractually obligated to mention that any compositions these teams show don't matter until that bell sounds and they're running out the door. And even then, sometimes, like we see teams, pull out the early Sombra just to go scout and then run back with the translocator and swap. Or maybe you jump on a Pharah real quick to kind of get a lay of the land. Or you go for a Sim TP and just use that to help your team along. So But, you know, why not do some theorizing? I kind of like what we're seeing here. I think the Rhine Zarya with a Sim Mei, that's very standard.
Yeah.
I would say kind of like just get on the point, set yourselves up. You've got the Baptiste there providing tons of healing, the Lucio providing great mobility and rotation potential. And then on the other side, we have a Rhine Sigma with a Moira Ana. Kind of more of a almost like a counter to that in a way, in the sense that they want to be able to withstand that rush and be able to provide extra healing or healing denial. But it looks like both teams are just going to be running straight to the point.
Well, already we see the benefit of running the Lucio. It's Squid Squad first to the point. The wall is up from Epoch, blocking the line of sight, not just from the players, but from our observers as well. Tuna Tacos with a lot to do here as EG take a huge amount of damage on the way in. And now they've got to play into this bunker composition. You can see the sim turrets. You know that Epoch has the wall off cooldown. It's going to be real difficult to break this. If Squid Squad are conservative and play back and don't allow themselves to overextend and get punished, that's an early shatter. Rinsky and Tuna Tacos down. Squallworm's going to get one, but that's kind of a parting blow. Doesn't matter too much. Very convincing first fight from Squid Squad.
Yeah, and I mean, it was a great disengage coming out from EG, but at the end of the day, they couldn't really make anything happen on the re-engage. The cooldowns were coming in really strongly from Squid Squad. They were very well coordinated in terms of like set up the wall, rush the Reinhardt that gets captured. You know, the shield is already breaking at that point. There's not much you can do. His healers can't really get to him. That's a classic engagement dynamic in this composition. And so far, Squid Squad looking to be in pretty firm control here.
I think really the only benefit they've got is that Epoch couldn't get too much damage done, so it doesn't have the Blizzard online, but the Amp Matrix sets things up nicely. Ottoman with the wall there just for some added protection. Protection from what? Well, the crumpled bodies of what is left of EG there. Solid team kill as we're looking at 60% captured here for Squid Squad.
Yeah, they didn't have to worry about any unsightly splashes or splashes upon their footwear with that nice wall. You know, Symmetra is a very clean lady. So I can respect wanting to, you know, not step in the muck of slaughtering your enemies. I get it. It's a big thing. That's why butchers in the 1800s wore high heels. There you go. History lessons with Thibble. Now, though, we have some ults coming into play and an initiating wall, but they have to figure out, EG has to figure out how they're going to engage with this. What do you do with this here?
A little bit slow on following the wall in. It's a nice wall from Epoch. It means that Rinsky's no longer in the fight. Had the shatter as well. The nano boost was used there, and that's 2 ults thrown at this fight. Nothing to show for it here from Ethos Group. This is going to be the hold from the Squid Squad. They did actually manage a flip here, so they got 9% on the board, but that's probably all they're going to get here because this is last fight territory, and they've got to make this work with a shatter and with a coalescence. They're probably going to get the Soldier online, but it's going to be so hard to break this out.
Oh, and this wall, you know, they know there's only one rotation point here, and that's it. Exactly. Yeah, I mean, nowhere else to go, no answer to that wall. You know, you have these ultimates, but you're not just moving in quite quickly enough. And you can tell, the one positive there is that you can tell that EG, they're communicating, right? Between fights, they're going, okay, what are we going to do here? What are we going to use, or how are we going to try and kind of flip this out? They're not just mindlessly walking forward, which I do sometimes because, oh, well, we won't get into that. But in general, it does appear that they're trying to formulate plans and execute upon them. It's just Squid Squad in general are moving a little faster, they're a little more decisive, and their cooldown coordination is just a step above because of what the composition allowed. That Mei composition is so good for shutting down a rotation or singling out a person and starting a fight 6v5. And basically every fight was like that for them. And if you're starting every fight 5v6, well, that's just basic math. That one's not going to work out in your favor.
Well, it's Swaptopolis here for EG and Squid Squad as we see the Lucio move from Squid Squad over to EG. Will give the boot chance to bring the team into swinging range. Nice big anti from Spleena. Makes it a little bit hard here for EG to close in, and they've already lost Kalos as well. Hook's going to miss as it goes through the Wraith form there of the Reaper, but ready to pile on the damage on the top, and a nice big anti over the top takes Halo Matthew out of the fight. Epoch unchallenged, unconcerned, uncontested in the skybox. A 180 boop kill there onto Sour Worm, and the bunker's ready to set up here for Squid Squad.
And those ults building up real nicely here for Squid Squad so far. At least the DPS ultimates. The rest are a little farther behind, but when you get a boop kill like that, you know, you're going to be ahead. Now EG switching over to the Orisa Hog themselves. I like the Reaper into this composition. It makes sense for sure. But when you're getting picked out like that, there's not a lot your Reaper can do for you. So got to be careful. Got to be using some cover here and not doing that, unfortunately, staggering out and costing yourself some
Oh
valuable time.
no!
There goes Boot too. Afro Ninja Sen, which also amazing name.
Oh yeah,
He is doing the work, as the kids
yeah.
say.
Afro Ninja Sen with some sort of delicious bait on the end of that, because that's 3 fish in a row there. And it's not a catch and release program here. This is very much catch and kill. This is such an aggressive bunker, like not giving into the temptation to play on the point, holding it right up by the, well, one of only 2 entrances in, the other one covered nice and strong by the barrage. Epoch with the double. And that's going to be the hold here, 60%. And the team kill, nothing on the board yet for EG.
Not yet, but we have some ultimates coming online, at least the visor and the sound barrier. That rally's not far behind either. So you have some chances here to really set up a good engage, but you're going to have to go in together. And you're going to be going into a Valkyrie, a Supercharger, a Deadeye, and pretty soon a whole hog as well. So maybe try and pull out an ult or 2 first, but you still have to move quickly. We're crossing 80% at this point.
Okay, looking at the wireframe, there's Kalow's on the flank, but they've already lost the Boot, who was a mere 1% away from having that sound barrier online. Kalos is down. Halo Matthews down. It's at 91, 92% here, and you don't want to call it before it's done, but it's just not looking possible here for EG. It's the whole hog, the pig with the pain. Pushing tacos into the corner, and that is it. IBM Squid Squad with a clean 202, I think it was 9%. On the poll.
I do believe it was. And, Squid Squad obviously looking confident, feeling themselves, holding forward, using ultimates, using their cooldowns effectively. Like, these guys are playing pretty good Overwatch. Which is not to say that EG are playing poorly, because like I said, they do have plans. They are attempting to execute combos. Going in with a Nano Symmetra there on Village was their most successful fight, basically. Attempting to swap over to the Orisa Hog composition and kind of counter that in a way. But ultimately, they just lack the initiation to really throw Squid Squad off their game. And when you just let a bunker comp sit up and shoot at you and get lots of hooks and do all that damage from afar, well, you're gonna have a bad time. So a chance here, I think, for EG to kind of just reflect for a second, be like, okay, so those things weren't necessarily working. That composition from Squid Squad was doing very well against us. What needs to change? In what ways can we kind of obviously adapt? That's always the name of the game in Overwatch is, okay, if something isn't working, how long do we stick with it? What's going wrong with it? And what will fix that problem? So for EG, this is really going to be one of your only opportunities to go, okay, so that didn't work. Let's try this instead.
Yeah.
So I definitely hope they do that as we get into our second map.
I do feel like EG Tech at least have now tried a couple of approaches here. They realized that they got kind of run over by the faster composition that Squid Squad were running with the Lucio in the mix. And so they swapped out the Boot. They put the Boot on Lucio on the other foot. And we're first to the point there. It's just that their composition hadn't really factored in that there was going to be that Pharaoh that did so much in that opening fight and found, for example, the Boot kill onto the Sigma from EG Tech that got the barrage most of the way there. So a lot of this is going to come down to speed, not just speed of engagement, but speed of realizing, recognizing what the problem is, and finding a way to adapt to it, as you suggested just then. But we are now 1 point into the series. There are, in theory, only 2 more matches for them to figure this out. Control is usually the hardest map type to get a measure of our 2 teams on because it can be so chaotic. But a 200 to nearly 0 is usually a pretty good indicator of the relative strength of these 2 squads. And I do think it's going to be a bit of an uphill struggle for EG Tech in this next map.
Sure, but any given Sunday, right, or whatever day it is. Today is Saturday. Time has no meaning.
No, it's a flat circle.
Yeah, 100%. And like you said, Control is such a chaotic game mode, even by Overwatch's already chaotic standards. And while that 200 to 9 is certainly a jarring kind of recognition of each team's skill, I do think that if EG kind of look at themselves and figure out how they're going to approach this next map, which is looking to be Route 66, which is very interesting. We could see maybe a little more close showing. That's definitely what I'm hoping for. We always want our map fives, and we always want our close, intense games. And on Route 66, we have seen some pretty intense games.
Oh,
Oh
well.
no, hang on.
In much the same way that we can't afford to talk about what the attacking composition is until they're
I
out of the
broke the
door for
rule.
usually a good 10 seconds, we may have been slightly debated on that. Looks like we may be going to Junkertown instead here. I believe we're just getting the ready up symbols, so we should be good to go
Hmm.
shortly. And just while I've got your attention, guys, I want to know, does the idea of having myself and Thibble, or Classy when he's back, casting your next team building event sound appealing? Well, ditch the Zoom petting zoo and tell your manager to bring your team together with a game like this. The CEA uses next gen machine learning to listen to in game conversations and to give meaningful feedback. Be a better team player while having the most fun you've ever had at work. To learn more, contact Brad or email support@cea.gg, and we'd be more than happy to help cover that action for you.
Yeah, when I first because remember, folks, I'm real new to this
Real
system
new.
here today, and when I kind of got the rundown on what's going on and what the purpose of these games are, I realized that that's just a really good idea.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people joke about like, oh, like Overwatch might be a bit of a tilting game or whatever, but at the end of the day, when you're playing with friends, Overwatch is still such
Yeah.
an entertaining experience. You can have a lot of fun. You can play serious or play casual. You can play in these some competitive sort of settings or in just a pickup game. And whatever the dynamic, in integrating your team into a system like that where you're
Mhm.
forced to communicate and work together, and try not to get your head blown off by some dude with a bow, like that really makes you grow.
It
So yeah, this sounds like a great opportunity is basically the point I'm trying to get to.
Yeah.
Avoid imminent death with your friends and coworkers. Play a game like this.
Yeah. Like I can speak to this a little bit. I just had my somewhat belated stag do a couple of weeks back, and my friends rented out a gaming area, went and played some Overwatch, and guys that either had only played like a couple of games of Overwatch or had played no Overwatch and hardly ever touched a PC for the purposes of gaming. It's a surprising amount of fun just having, 12 friends together, even if you only got 6 at a time, just having a bit of a laugh on a game like this. It actually is pretty good for building a sense of camaraderie. So we'd love to see you come down and get involved. And I'm feeling, Thibble, like we are nearly done with the behind the scenes preparation here to give you a rundown on how things work. It is a losers map pick system here. So the next map is by default a payload map, but it's going to be EG Tech's choice here, and EG Tech have picked Junkertown. IBM Squid Squad then get the opportunity to choose whether they want to attack or defend. And it looks like they've made the pick here to defend first, so they want to control how long this map goes on for. If they think they can put up a good defense and lock out that point A, it means we'll be done with Junkertown very, very quickly. So EG Tech have a lot to do here.
And that sometimes that can be a big if, but
Yeah.
I imagine Squid Squad feeling maybe a little confident after their showing on Nepal, understandably so. Junkertown's always one of those maps where either you get completely blown out of the water on defense and the time bank's like 3.5 minutes or so, or you just kind of full hold. You just throw a bastion right in front of the spawn door and just hang out for 4 minutes. So I'm kind of curious to see which of those versions of this game that we get, because both are entertaining, but for very different reasons.
Yeah, and entertaining for us, not always the same as entertaining for the players. Looks like we, at the very least, have the defensive lineup set up here. So we're
I
going to be
like
going
this, actually.
effectively double sniper.
Yeah, no, I like this a lot. I feel like Ash is such a consistent pick. She's had some changes here and there, some buffs and nerfs and tweaks and such. But at the end of the day, you put a good hit scan on a hit scan hero and they're gonna do some crazy things. And Ash just has such great utility in terms of her raw damage output, her maneuverability, her ultimate with its zone control, assuming you don't put it to sleep or hack it or whatever. So yeah, great potential here for a lot of damage from this Squid Squad composition, especially with that Discord orb from Spleener. Halo Matthew looking to peek out a little bit, but he's got to be careful. Remember, folks, avoid imminent death with your friends at these games. Don't get your head blown off by a dude with bow.
That was a little bit slow there from Halo Matthew. Would have liked to have seen a little bit more of a proactive stance. Has now taken a position on that file button, but Epop knows exactly where they are.
Oh.
Kalos almost got the hack off there, but instead took a lot of damage. But a floating orb of destruction finds Epoch and puts them down into the 5v6. Equalizer's got to come through quickly if they want to keep this going on. Going to move to the cart now and look to defend here. Halo Matthews able to find Zoe. This has already been a very impactful pick. Kalos in the back. Almost finds the pick there onto Ottoman. But the pressure's on now. We're going to see them start to be moved on backwards here. Ottoman down and EG Tech pushing the payload.
Right, and Kalos here, not necessarily getting the kills right away, but that's not always Sombra's
1
job.
HP.
Oh yeah, I saw that, by the way. Goodness, and Epoch, it doesn't matter. He says, I don't care how much HP you have, you're not going to survive this log to the dome. But Kalos is making openings. He's softening people up, he's forcing them to look away, and the boot is coming in with his highly skillful abilities to really clean up on the kills here.
Looks like Afro Ninja Sen threw in that shadow, didn't find anything. Ottoman's able to find the boot here. Ottoman with the jump shot, won't quite find Kalos, but Kalos forced to relocate once again. They've lost the boot here for EG Tech, and that is a good chunk of their healing off the table. But some good ult combos coming in here for EG Tech. They've got the Nano, they've got the Shatter, they'll have the Coalescence once the boot is back in the fight. They're setting themselves up for a win here. But Halo Matthew down again, losing to Ottoman, who made the swap over onto the Widow of their own. Window comes out here from Zoa. Rinsky's got to move, get that shield burnt down. If he doesn't, Epoch's able to find Tuna Tacos, and that will be the back off here for EG Tech.
Yeah, I totally understand the nice pin, by the way. That's just a clever move in general. Like, you're probably going to go on to that great pasture in the sky. So why not get a charge on your way out? Great ultimates actually coming online for EG. They've been pretty disciplined with their usage so far. The only ult that's been thrown, I believe, is Afro's Shatter, which, like you mentioned, didn't really get much. But now tons of opportunity here. Kalos coming in with that EMP. You could nano Rinsky and go for a Shatter. Like, there's so many things you can do. Follow up with the Coalescence even. But the longer you wait, the more time Squid Squad has to get moving, especially if they're just going to get opening picks like that.
Yeah, and additionally, well, they're actually just going to go in. There's the Dragon. Don't need to commit the grab, and I was lining up to look at that one. Shatter into Shatter. Afro Ninja sends it two on the ground, but in comes the Transcendence from Spleena, keeps them alive and healthy. And we had pretty much everything thrown at that fight from EG Tech. They're going to have the Gravitic Flux. We got the grab there from V. Might have been an ego grab there. I don't think they needed it. And the hold continues for Squid Squad.
Yeah, I mean, the grab gives you a little stagger, I guess, but you maybe want to save that in a higher level situation, perhaps, or a higher stakes situation. Save that for the last fight. But hey, it sends a message, and that's important. Now Zoa has the Ant Matrix for Squid Squad to use,
there it is.
But there's only a Flux.
Rinsky's already down here. Zoe was able to find Sour Worm as well, and this is proving to be a real crucible, a real trial of fire here under this archway for EG Tech. Squid Squad with their tentacles wrapped firmly around it, not letting them any further down.
Let's not talk about wrapping tentacles around anything, please. We are a family program. I like Sour Worm moving in with this Gravitic Flux, though long range, but where's the follow-up? Let's see if they can move in. It's coming in, and they force the Immortality Field here. Even with Klaus down, there is an opportunity.
That's it, two down, three down. Ottoman making a name for himself here. Halo Matthew down to get the Dragon in over the top. Somehow finds Student Taco. Spleena gets in on the action. One-man Shatter. That's going to be the Dutchman on the ground there, and not much distance at all here for EG Tech.
No, I mean, a couple decent fights coming in there for EG, especially the one where everybody was pressing Q and just attempting at least to make something happen, talking it out, using their abilities as best they could. Unfortunately, there were just a couple key one-on-ones that didn't quite go their way. The Shatter coming out from Rinsky didn't get a ton, and even though it was comboed with the Nano Boost from Tuna Tacos, which is a combo as old as time, ultimately, the Shatter coming out from Squid Squad was just a little more effective and actually just completely stopped that initiation in its tracks. Without that Shatter, that fight honestly could have looked pretty different, and we could have been looking at a first point capture, getting into Streets phase. It's a whole new game at that point. But ultimately, again, Squid Squad not being afraid to step up and combo their abilities, go for the ego grab. Like, at the end of the day, Squid Squad are just playing with confidence. And they know that they can force these 1v1s or any individual matchup that they really want to try and make happen, focus down someone that's moving a little too slow, that's maybe a little bit out of position. They're ready to punish. And so far, that's been going very well for them. Now we have EG coming out with a very similar composition to the one they had. Halo Matthews sticking to the Hanzo now instead of the Widowmaker, hoping for maybe a little more information with that Sonic arrow, and some zoning and damage potential with the Grab Dragon combo, of course. But they do not have a lot of space to work with.
No. Well, in comes the dive from Afro Ninja Zen, and just piling in the damage, doesn't care at all what damage is coming back their way. Already halfway towards the Primal Rage. Epoch has already taken an aggressive position on the left-hand side of the choke here. Halo Matthew down, and Afro Ninja Zen continuing to push and push and push. Has the high ground, finds the Sombra, 91%. Rin down here, and we're going to get the Primal Rage. Won't even need it. It's done and dusted. The Monkey Arms come out, and IBM Squid Squad speed their way into a 2-map lead.
And I mean, a perfect composition really coming out against EG here. Like, it's exactly, they had the download. They knew exactly what was going to work against the composition and the style that EG have been playing this map and this series in general. You know that this composition, struggles a bit with stepping up and initiating, struggles a bit with holding space. They like to be able to kind of back up, extend the fight, try and find an opening, because so far that's the only things that have really been working for them. So what do? You go dive. You just immediately apply pressure. Don't let them back up without obviously losing your most important resource, which is ground, and then your second most important resource, which is health. Those might be mixed up. You get the idea.
Yeah.
Just applying all that pressure and really not giving them a chance to think or set up in the way they want, taking those aggressive off angles from Epoch, that was really smart. Immediate opening pick. It's done and dusted. That's fundamentally sound Overwatch that Squid Squad are playing. They get the concepts that they need to be executing on to pull out these wins. And now we're looking at a 2-0 because of it.
A 2-0 and a very quick 2-0, and you always feel a little bit bad for the team that is getting rolled, but it looks from team chat that we have access to here that at the very least, EG Tech are taking this all in stride. We've got a that was fast lol coming in from Tuna Tacos. So hopefully their mental is where it needs to be for this, and they're just having a good time of it. The nature of a grassroots tournament like this is that sometimes you are the stompers, sometimes you are the stompees. But we do have one more map coming our way. EG Tech get a chance to pick again here. IBM Squid Squad going to be able to select whether they attack or defense. So just going to wait on that choice coming in before we look to load into the next map. We have also got a substitution on the side of Squid Squad. Zoa out, Badger in. I believe we do have some information in the team sheets here as to what we can maybe expect Badger to play. So look, Badger is Anna and Brig. So maybe not that big a swap here when you consider that Zoa is also Anna as one of their main choices here.
Yeah, I mean, I can see this just being let's make sure Badger gets some playtime type situation. Like, let's make sure he's getting some good hours, minutes as it might be. Just getting on the field. It's an important part of this experience in general. And that dynamic, honestly, is one of the things I wanted to hit on when you were talking about stompers versus stomped. At the end of the day, the lower stakes thing is sometimes a curse, but also sometimes a blessing.
Oh yeah.
This is not Contenders or Overwatch League where there's thousands of dollars and big follower names and everything on the line. This is a game that we're playing here essentially for team building and for fun. And so these guys aren't stressing, or no one's toxic in chat, which sometimes happens in an Overwatch League lobby, folks. I have seen it. Boy, howdy have I seen it. So it's refreshing in a way to know that these guys, this looks like a pretty one-sided matchup at the end of the day, right? These games are going a particular way, and at a Contenders level, we might be talking about like, oh, the stress, the fatigue, the mental burnout of dealing with a game like this. But at the end of the day, these guys are honestly just happy to be here.
We're here for fun.
Yeah, they are here to just have a good time.
Yeah.
And it looks like we're going to the best place to have a good time in all of Overwatch, Kings Row.
Look, you're new here, Thibble. So I'll give
Oh
you a
boy.
little bit of lore here,
Uh-huh.
which was, I think it was maybe not last season, it wasn't the spring season, I think possibly the previous winter split
Hmm.
for CEA. We didn't see another hybrid map other than King's Row pretty much all season long. By the end of it, I was begging for a Numbani or a Blizzard World or anything other than King's Row. And first match of the series, we're back into King's Row. I am having a little bit of PTSD here for the season of never-ending King's Row.
I can totally understand your reservations
Mhm.
regarding the amount of times you've had to cast King's
Sound,
Row.
sounds like you disagree with my assessment, though.
I have never once looked at a game of King's Row and been like, ah, man. Like every time I'm like, yes. It's like I'm watching Envious versus Cloud9.
Wow.
It's 2016 again. You know, Hex and Slasher on the cast. There's a ficus
How
somewhere.
old are you? Are you
I'm
older than
turning
me?
I'm turning 26 tomorrow.
Oh, wow. Well,
Yeah,
preemptive happy birthday.
thank you.
And
But
you are currently 10 years younger than me, so I might go and hide in a ditch somewhere and not think
oh, you're
about that too
fine.
much.
But in terms of Overwatch, I'm about as old as it gets.
Yeah.
I was watching tournaments in alpha, and Kings Row was always the map, as it has always been the map ever since. It's never stopped. It's always been this way. But the most iconic, I always want to say some of the most iconic moments in Overwatch history have happened on this map.
Yeah.
And I will die on that hill.
Yeah.
The Great Bamboozle, so many C9s before C9 was even a term or concept. Like, the term C9 was born on Numbani, by the way, but it
Oh,
was immortalized on King's Row by the Chengdu Hunters. Rest in peace. Well, they're still in it. Never mind.
they're still in it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
They're
no,
they're
they're
a real
gems. They're
contender.
fine. Yeah, they're good now, but they'll
Look,
still
they
C9, and
they
it'll still be
they
funny.
they made it further than some other teams. Let's leave it at
All right. You
that.
don't have to pull that out. Goodness.
Yeah, so I just all the while through you talking about the history of Overwatch, that I was looking at this frozen golden person and wondering,
I
like,
was trying
is
not to look at that.
is this just somebody using Orissa's fortify ability for a long time, or is this actually a statue?
Yeah, it's supposed to show that Mondada cares about the kids, because he does. He's a great guy. He's fantastic. He's done a lot for this city. Just like that Maywall is doing a lot for this fight right now.
Yeah, that was interesting. I'm amazed there were no kills on the back of there. That's a great immortality field from Spleena. And that's going to be Tuna Tacos with that forced out as well. In fact, no immortality fields, no constructs whatsoever available. And this is looking like a big turnaround here from EG Tech. Afro Ninja Send with the triple. And, well, pretty good going there. Oh, sorry, I've got my team names the wrong way around. That was Squid Squad with a blistering pace on A. That's what I get for not having all of my equipment back here in the States yet.
Understandable, though. I get it. I think the main thing there that kind of prevented that ball from getting too much done is that Squid Squad, as they viciously stagger out all of these back spawners, that's atrocious. That timing worked out really well for them. Just in general, they had no problem focusing down the Maywall and then immediately going, well, they don't have a Maywall, so let's go. And they have just never stopped. Look at them. Look at them go.
This is aggressive with a capital A, several capital G's, and at least a capital R. They are playing right up in point C spawn, pretty much. Afro Ninja Sends on the high ground with the shadow. Ooh, doesn't go for it, drops it, but everybody makes their way back behind the shield, and the flashbang comes in. But look at where the payload currently is, halfway through point B. One solo rider. Tuna Taco is able to bring Halo Matthew back in to fight, but now they've got to deal with the tire. Takes Tuna Tacos and Rinsky down, and Squid Squad with absolutely no respect here for EG Tech.
And that's a great setup too, because Otterman goes, hey, you want to get up on the high ground? And Epoch goes, and that was perfect. EG even knew that was there. They saw him teleport up. They heard that ultimate go off.
It was not subtle.
It was not subtle. Nothing about this has been subtle. This is Team USA versus like Iceland or something, and they're not having a good day. But ooh, there we go. I like the swap, actually. I love Pharah on this last phase. A lot of people don't assume that's kind of a play here. but it really is. And providing so much poke and damage here is exactly what they need. They need to force Squid Squad not to be sitting at their spawn door, and this is a perfect move. But the counter, engage with the beat.
Okay, that's a big one. So only going to catch the Mercy. So Tuna Taco's down. Rinsky laterally backs into it, receives the fire strike for his trouble. Ottoman's going to go down to Klaus here, or Kalos here. Kalos down. One big displacement kill from Halo Matthew, and B with not a lot of charge, but a heck of a lot of confidence in the right hook. Left hook even. Halo Matthew down here, playing right against Spawn here. We're looking at something approaching a 5-minute cap time here.
Oh, the shadow.
Yeah, Shadow's down. We'll see 1-2 come out here for Kalos. Fina and B both down. And this is going to be the first successful defensive hold here for EG Tech on Kings Row.
It is, but look at those ultimates that they had to commit. I believe Sourworm swapped there, so that's not a huge deal. Kalos using the visor to great effect, and Tuna Taco supporting with that Valkyrie. Now they only have the barrage, and I hope that he tries to save it to counter out this shatter that's about to come in, because you're gonna need an answer to that. Exactly. There we go.
Ooh, a little bit late to the fight there. 2 down already on the side here of EG Tech, and Epoch up on the payload, tracks the Mercy across the sky, and it's going to be B with the finishing blow. Soldier on soldier at the back of the room. Kalos down, 4 minutes on the clock, charge just in time there to keep that contested, but not a lot of HP left there for Rinsky, and now not at all. Halo Matthew down and out, 3 minutes 57, and pretty quick cap time here for Squid Squad.
I gotta say credit where credit is due to Epoch. He has had such a fantastic series here. He's never afraid to step up, to hit a flank, to take an off angle, to take a 1v1. He knows that he can win. And when you're playing like that, like another level unlocks.
Yeah.
You know, like it's Might Guy in the 8 gates, you know? He is just running at it. Do you get that reference?
No, sorry, I'm an ignorant Brit.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I only watch one anime because I'm pretty basic, so those are just the references you get.
Oh, I see.
He's doing real good.
Okay.
Is basically, yeah, that's the long and short of it.
Thank you for dumbing it down for me. It's much appreciated.
More than welcome. Now they kind of have dealer's choice, right? 357 in the time bank and a full clear. And with how these games are going, there's no reason why Epoch won't just hop on the Junkrat.
Yeah.
You know, makes total sense. I like that pick, even, you know, if the game is close, even if you're playing at a really high level. I think there should be more Junkrat in general. I'm a big Junkrat proponent. You know, like that's my jam.
Here's the thing that I'm a big proponent of, and granted they are still in Spawn, but I actually really like this pick from Kalos. A huge pick potential.
Yeah.
If you can get into a position just to find that one kill to turn the team fight, that's a great use of the Doomfist. Let's see how this modified dive works out for them.
What he needs to not do is immediately rocket punch into a Junkrat trap. I'm just going to call that one out right now. I know.
They specifically attract Doomfists.
They'll get you. So he's got to be really careful of that. Because if he gets caught in a trap, he owes me $1. That's the rules.
Oh,
yep,
well, it was a nice slam. A couple of people caught in it, but ultimately diving into the face of a McCree with that burst damage and that stun. Nade. Never gonna end well. Big nade, big shots. Oh, out of the hit scan, making a real name for himself here. And looks like we might get a bit of a stagger. It's the boot down last. And looks like we've got Halo Matthew making a long flank here around the back. Okay, big reposition.
He has to go deposit the Ring of Power in the Fires of Mount Doom.
Ah, of course.
It's really important, you guys. This is serious business. I will say, as we watch this Secret Spy movie unfold, I've been talking about Epoch a lot, but I want to give a shout out to Spleener too. So many different heroes, as that's just okay.
Oh, hello, Shatter. Okay, nice punch to interrupt some of the aggression, but the damage has been done here, and now you are a single solitary Doomfist against a man with a hammer and all of his pointy friends. Halo Matthew on the flank, can't quite find the kill. Spooner gets down low, and Halo Matthew, he's dodging, he's juking. Ultimately, it's not going to be. Everybody turns their crosshairs to focus him out of the fight.
And he nearly got a free tick out of that, too. He was on the point. He was trying to force them to turn around and look at him and give his team an opening, any opening. And I can respect the kind of Overwatch Halo Matthew is trying to play here. He is trying to create opportunities for his team. But Epoch is about to create an opportunity for their faces to explode. There goes Sourworm.
It's only one kill, but that's enough in this kind of fight. And Rinsky just ragdolls up into the stratosphere. And that's another reset here for EG Tech. Slowly getting towards some of these ults. I'm looking at Kalaos. He's going to have that Meteor Strike. That's going to be going straight for Spleena. That is a big opener here in this next fight.
Yeah, I mean, tons of potential with that. We talk about the pick potential of a Doomfist, and Meteor Strike is the greatest example of that for sure. However, Bull support ults coming online here for Squid Squad. B and Afro have been building up pretty quickly too, so in a longer fight, they could easily build those. But EG do have a lot of ultimates coming online soon. The Visor from Halo and both support ults potentially in that sort of extended fight as well. They just have to be careful. If they can pull ultimates from Squid Squad, disengage, and then get something done, that's great. But Halo Matthew already down.
Oh. I mean, it's unfortunate stuff. The jump in with the Winston when there's no Primal Rage to give you that survivability and jump out ability again is always going to be rough, particularly into the level of stun and burst damage that Squid Squad have. But we're getting close to having 5 ults online here for EG Tech. This is looking like their best chance right here.
Yeah, and they did pull out the amplification matrix as well. But now you have both tank ults coming online and the Nano and the Deadeye. So, and you also have 50 seconds, so it's not like you can really wait to pull things out. No. You got to get moving. You got to start using these things, these tools that you have.
Okay, there's the Primal. Kalaos now almost out of abilities. There's the sound barrier out. It's going to be aggressive. Shadow comes in. Halo Matthew's able to find 2. There's the 3rd from Halo Matthew. Kalaos in the back, causing trouble. Can't find additional kills, but it looks like EG Tech might have just done enough here. Afrin just down. It's down to B and Epoch to try and keep this alive that little bit longer. Epoch down. B will have the grab, but there's nobody in a position to follow up here. EG Tech finally break this point A hold.
Rinsky with the swap onto the wrecking ball, but I almost want him to keep pushing forward. I could almost see a recontest. Obviously not going to happen now, but I could definitely see a world in which a team would try and recontest that, given the tempo of their spawns. Now Rinsky swapping back over to the Reinhardt, and we're kind of back to square one here for EG with a very brave charge.
Rinsky.
You know, I respect it. I will never turn down a bold Rein charge, but at the end of the day, are you really in the position to be doing that?
It's the dance Satan Macabre there from Rinsky Korsakov, and the boots down here, straight out of spawn, and we're looking at another spawn hold here from Squid Squad, and we saw last time it took EG Tech 5 ults to break this kind of hold. Ottoman lands the flash, and Kalaos taken out once again. Almost found the kill there onto Ottoman, and the Helix Rocket does the remainder of the lifting. It's 1-for-1, but Epoch just bounces up and takes Halo Matthew out of the fight. So back onto even Stevens here. Epoch is also going to have this Riptire. We've got the Graviton Surge coming up. There are a lot of kills coming out here. Locks them all onto the card. Out comes the Wheel of Death. It's going to find Rinsky. The Boot and Tune attack goes down as well, and that payload keeps on inching its way backwards.
So they're at least pulling tools and at least building towards their own ultimates, but you're already approaching a minute here. Halo Matthew is doing the work, but then Epoch he understands. He knows that Halo Matthew is the guy that he needs to be keeping an eye on out of pretty much anybody on this team. And while EG are trying, that's actually, you know, that kind of forces Epoch back. That's great. It's making space. But there are so many tools here for Squid Squad to work with. And, of course, just do that. Just hit the shatter.
Yeah. Okay, was hit by the anti there, so needs to play a little bit careful for a second. High Noon finds Kalaos. Badge is going to hold onto the amplification matrix, and of course, where they're holding everything is going to be very well telegraphed, and so that amplification matrix going to be a big wall of pain in the next fight. We get the sound barrier out from the boot here. Rinsky was already down. Sourworm lost as well. Okay, let's able to find Ottoman. If they can keep this going a little bit longer, they might be able to work this out. Halo Matthew finds one with a tactical visor, and it's Halo Matthew again that is the opener here. Nice tilt to the shield, and Halo Matthew's down despite all that heavy lifting. Ultimately, the team is forced to buckle. They've made some space though. Rinsky gets in, finds 2. Kalaos is going in deep here with the ultimate. Takes a bit of space on the high ground, looking for respawns coming in. No, ultimately dodges back around, but now they've got to dodge this Riptire from Epoch. I believe was killed in the middle of that. Must have been very, very close. Okay, we're into OT now. Squid Squad's got to come back from point. They do have ults here, but so do EG Tech.
Yeah, so many, like, almost amazing plays coming out there from EG, but at the end of the day, they'll settle for these good plays that are winning them this fight. Now they have a real chance to get a little extra time, get that second point. They have this grab coming in from Sourworm. They just need to not get picked up by the Enragers.
Yeah, that's rough. Shatter in as well. Kalos down, Tune Attacker's down. It's overtime, and it's deep into overtime, so it's tick-tick-tocking on down. And that's going to be IBM Squid Squad with the win, 3-0. Nice bit of turn up there from EG Tech at the end, just ultimately not quite enough to get the job done.
This is almost a series where I want to say, let's make it 1-4 instead, because it looked like EG Tech right at the end there, really finding their groove. Halo Matthew coming in, making these amazing plays, making openings for his team. That shatter, like the distracting visor into the shatter was like a pixel away from being so perfect, and really creating some space and giving them some momentum and confidence and winning that fight and pushing through streets. Frankly, the best look we saw from them all series long. Kalos getting some openings with the Doomfist, pushing up, creating space, making those sorts of posturing moves that you need to sometimes make in Overwatch. EG were just hitting that right at the end. And if we could have seen another map of that, that series could maybe start to look a little bit different. But unfortunately, I do believe that's about as far as that goes.
It is 1-3 format until we hit the grand finals. Means that is all we have for today. It's just the one match this week. Normally we'll be bringing you two, but start of the season takes a little while to get things ramped up a little bit. So we are almost at the end of the broadcast. What we are going to do in the interim, though, is we'd love to get some of these players in to talk about who they're raising money for, how the team came together, what their companies do. So we're going to try and iron out an interview, and we're going to throw to a quick break while we try and get that sorted. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, everybody. Here we are with the interview portion of the broadcast, and joining us from the winning team, IBM Squid Squad, are Badger and Epoch. Badger, Epoch, welcome to the broadcast. Congratulations on the win. How are you feeling on the back of that one? And whoever wants to handle the questions as they're thrown, just jump right in.
Hey, we're feeling pretty good. It was like a good first match for us to come together. Nice little confidence booster. Trying to get used to playing together.
Yeah, a lot less stress in a game where we can really play together and learn as a team.
Yeah. So from that, I'm slightly wondering, have you guys not had much chance to actually play together? Is this a relatively new team?
So a part of our team is from the IBM Pachimari Patrol from last earlier in the year. Yeah, me, Afro, and Zoa were on that team. The rest of the team is kind of new. And yeah, we're just figuring stuff out right now.
Okay.
We only came together like a week before the deadline, so yeah.
Right.
Got it. I'm loving these names. Which of you is the resident cephalopod enthusiast? Like, why are we getting all the Pachi patrols and squid squads and things of that nature?
Both are references to our past teams. I think summer 2019, we had these IBM Squid Squad. That's like the first season that I played. And last season, we picked Pachimari Patrol and had matching Pachimari icons. So now we have matching Pachimari icons as a homage to that team.
Love it. Okay. And from what I understand, excuse me, because I'm rather new to this whole thing, there's a bit of a charitable element going into these games and this whole kind of system that we have going on here. What angle are you guys approaching that from? And like, what charities are you involved with here?
The charity that we have decided to go with is the Children's Miracle Network Hospitals. And I've been raising money for them for over 10 years now.
Oh, wow.
Just because they are amazing at raising money for families to have children get medical attention, even if the family doesn't have the ability to pay back the money. And that is important to me. And so I've been raising money for that. So that's that's the charity that we decided to go with.
That's really solid, actually. Wow.
I can't think we've ever had a charity come up where I've gone, well, that doesn't seem like a worthwhile charity. But
Fair.
that does
Yeah.
feel like a very, very solid charity. So we'll be rooting for you guys to go the distance and be able to send some money their way. So you guys have obviously been in this in some form or another for 2019. I think that probably makes IBM one of our longest running competitors in this. Do you think that level of experience is going to help you carry this through to the end of the season? IBM Squid Squad, Pachimari Patrol. Forgive me if I'm misremembering this. Not a team that I think we saw hit particularly dizzying highs. Now that things have shaken up a bit and you've got a little more time under your belt, is this the season of IBM Squid Squad?
Well, we'll certainly hope so. I don't know if we're quite up to the high levels of some of the higher teams. I know Microsoft is pretty much all GM players as opposed to most of us, which are like around diamond level. But I think we made playoffs every time so far and kind of lost out in the first round. So we hope to go further in playoffs this time.
Great. Looking
GM
forward.
players aren't all that anyways,
Yeah.
folks. Really? I think you guys have a shot. Just keep playing Junkrat. That's my
Yeah.
suggestion to you. And I've been in Plat for 20 seasons, so I think I know what I'm talking about. Yeah, just keep that going, and I see you guys going real far.
Yeah.
I love what I saw today.
Thank
Okay,
you.
guys, it's been a lot of fun watching you play. Hopefully, we'll get to see you again sometime else in this season, maybe even in playoffs. Before I let you go and celebrate with the rest of your team, is there anybody you'd like to give a shout out to?
Thanks, Mom.
There it is.
A
We don't
classic.
get nearly enough thank you moms out there in our interviews, Phil.
No, more
Yeah,
of it.
I'll give it a shout out to Otter as well for being our IGL
Mm,
and kind of pulling us together.
It's a very important role.
Yeah.
Excellent.
great. Well, Epoch Banter, thank you very much for joining us. Wonderful to get to know a little bit about you guys as we see you go through the season. Looking forward to seeing you again a little bit further on. For everybody else that's joined us today, thank you very much for tuning in. Wonderful to have you with us. To Thibble, thank you very much for stepping in relatively last minute to come and cover this. Hopefully, we'll keep you around for as and when we need a stand-in, not to put you directly into the second place position, but it's been wonderful to have you on
Oh, I
board.
don't mind. I like playing ringer here and there. It's
Exactly.
fun. It's fun to just jump in and cast some nice games of Overwatch like this. So yeah, thanks for having me.
Good. Glad to hear it. Well, one more time, thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in, and we'll see you next week for more CEA Overwatch.